So, everybody should have their calculators in radians mode. Okay? Let's minimize that. Let's drag you over. And why is it being difficult? I want it there. Okay. So, what we are going to do is we are going to use the calculator to calculate tangent for all these angles in group 1. Okay? So, how do I do that? Well, I'm in radian mode, so I'm going to clear. Let's do the first one. Let's do negative 11 pi over 24. If I want to find the tangent of that on my calculator, I simply hit the tangent button, and then in the box, or in the parentheses that it sets up, does everybody see this? All right, it says tan, and then it's got a parenthesis. Now negative 11 pi over 24 there. So I put negative 11, and then my pi button is right above the caret, right there, and then divided by 24. And I end my parenthesis. 11
Yeah, calculator got
pi divided by 4.
I don't know why I didn't see that.
And then when I hit enter, I should get a number that's negative 7 point. Can I call that negative 7.6? Oh no, 2 decimal places. So how would I round that to 2 decimal places? 60, right. Negative 7.60. Okay? Let's do that for the whole column 1.
Actually,
Let's do that for the whole column in group 1. You got a shoe? You got nothing? Like 0? God. All right. Who got an answer for negative 4 pi over 12? I'm sorry? 7.2 or 7.3?
7.3.
Negative 1.73. All right. How about for negative pi over 4? What'd you get there? Negative pi over 4. What's the riddle, Caleb? Which one is negative pi over 4?
I'm gonna classify.
Right? Negative 1. Negative 1. Okay. Negative 2 pi over, negative pi over 6. What do we get? Negative 0.36? Negative 0.58. Negative 0.58. What do we get for negative pi over 12? You got a value, Brett? Negative 2.27.
Yeah,
What about 0? What about 0? 0. Good. Now what? 0.27. What comes after 0.27? What do we notice? The same. 0 is my midpoint, and they do the same thing on either side of 0, right? So now I got 0.27, 0.58, 1, 1.73, 3.73, and 7.60. All right, those are my values. Now, we're going to take these values to the next page. Okay? We're taking them to the next page. There's the next page. Gosh, look at this. This is awful looking. This is an awful looking graph. How should I... So what's the smallest, or what's the biggest angle on the negative that I got?
-7.
No, not, I want the angle. So negative 11 pi over 24, right? That's like 1 away from negative 1/2 pi, right?
That's a fraction.
That's really close to 1/2, right? Okay.
Oh,
So here's what I want to do. 1, 2, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to make this line, this far line over here, this guy, I'm going to make that negative pi over 2.
Oh.
Okay? Negative pi over 2. Let me make my line skinny and put negative pi over 2. Okay? So the same line on the other side is going to be what? Positive pi over 2. Okay. So that gives us my scale. That gives me my scale on the x-axis side. Now, think about this. Negative 11 pi over 24 is really close to what value? Forget about the pi. Negative 11 over 24 is really close to what value? 1/2, right? Or negative 1/2 in this case, right? It's just a little bit bigger than negative 1/2. So what would the relationship be between negative 11 pi over 24 and negative pi over 2? Those are going to be really close too, right? It's the same relationship except one's got pi's on either side and the other one doesn't. So I guess the point I'm making is this negative 11 pi over 24 is really close to negative pi over 2. Do you see that? So let's go back to this side and graph that. So when when x equals negative 11 pi over 22, that's going to be right about in this area, right? When my x is negative 11 pi over 24, my y, which is tangent to that angle, is going to be negative 7.60, right? Was that right? Did I get that number right?
Negative point what?
Negative 7.60.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are good. I want that fat. I want that fat. So negative 7.6, about right. No, not far down enough. Right about there. So I got my first spot, right? Now, Now, my next spot is negative 5 pi over 12. Negative 5 pi over 12. What's that really close to? Let's do this. No. So this is...
That changes.
So if this is negative pi over 2, the halfway is going to be pi over 4, right? Okay?
3.73.
So when my x value is negative 5 pi over 12, what's that really close to? Think about it. Yeah, it's just a little bit bigger than 1/3, right? But in the negative direction. So then, my dot is going to be somewhere right here. Yeah, right about there, right? And what was my value? Negative 3.73. So right about there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, negative 4 pi over 12. Negative 4 pi over 12. That's exactly what? That's exactly 1/3 pi, right? That's exactly 1/3 pi. And that value is negative 1. now, negative 1/3 pi, boom, about right there, and that's going to be about right here. Now, oops, now we're starting to cook with gas. 2 pi over 12, that is negative 1/6 pi. That's 1/6 pi. So, 1/6 pi is going to be this guy right here. And you're going to put a dot right there, a negative 0.58. And then, pi over 12, negative 0.27. Pi over 12 is going to be this guy right here. And negative 0.27, even closer. And then when x equals 0, what does my tangent equal?
0.
0, right? So I put a dot right at the origin. And now it should be easy.
Origin.
Now it should be easy because
Now you know.
I jump straight across. When my x is here, I go to positive 0.27, right? And when x is here, I go to positive 0.58. And when x is here, I go to positive, what was that? 3.3, what was this number? 3.73, I think?
Yeah.
Oh, first I go to 1. Wow. What's that number? 1.73. 1.73. This one right here.
Ninja star.
1.73. And then I go to 358.
Yeah, really.
And then it's all the way up to 7.60. Now, we draw a line to connect these dots. And I'm going to do my skinny line for this one. So I go like this. Oop. I'm going to erase this to make my art a little bit better. And go like so. So, if I zoom out, and look at this zoomed out, kind of got like a sideways S or something, don't I? Okay? Now, here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do, and this is your assignment for tomorrow. Oh, Tuesday. No, Monday. Tuesday, you're right, Tuesday. Your assignment for Tuesday, thank you. I want you to do this chart, graph 2, or group 2, and I want you to recreate a graph of group 2. I want you to show me what it looks like.
That might only spell your back. Thank you.